Are we good? Are we live? Are we live, guys? I don't know what's going on with my YouTube. Testing, testing. I don't know how long it's been on for. Are we good? Hi, perfect. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I'm gonna try. I'm keeping it on landscape for now. Beautiful, beautiful. But what I'm gonna try and do, I mean, if you guys, there's some of you that were here in the morning, but cut a long story short, we've taken some trades on the overnight. This is the only way I can think I can show you easy way instead of, because the screen's vertical. If I set it as vertical on the output, it then messes up the scaling for the horizontal. But anyway, I am short. My entries aren't the best, but I was already short on the overnight at like 340s to 280s to 340s. So most of what I've got has been taken off. The only ones I'm still in are pretty much either evaluations. So you've got alpha futures at the bottom left, fund intakes below, which I'm going to get 6 of those. I've only got 2 at the moment. And then trade day at the bottom right, which has been closed. I think they have a consistency of 30%. 30% of 3,000 is like, I don't know, what is that, like $900 or something? So I don't want to make too much. I don't want to make more than that, which I'm at 550, so that's fine. Apex, I've hit 300, which is probably going to just stop there. Take profit, I've got 1 short left. This is all micros. Like, I've not traded anything but 1 to 3 micros, which is insane. My funded futures is at $600. That's funded. And then the funded next accounts, the top ones are the challenge accounts, the bottom ones are the funded accounts. Again, they have a 40% consistency. 40% of 1250 is 500, so I don't want to make any more than 500, so they're done for the day. The lucid accounts are in the middle. They're evals, and I need to make 1250, so we'll try and get that done on stream. They're basically nearly there. I opened them today. I reset them twice last week doing stupid trades, but I did say to everyone this is what happens when you use 1 micro or 4 micros versus like whatever I was using on stream last week. I understood it was. I did say to everyone, this is a YOLO trade. I don't normally trade like that, as you know anyway. The top right are Traderify accounts, which I opened this morning. They're the 50Ks. I need what, $3,000. I don't know. Can you pass those in a day? Please let me know in the chat. Do they have a 1-day pass, or do you have to? How many days do you need? Because that will affect my profit on today. But anyway, that's those. And then here's me, beautiful face. So great morning this morning, and it's just been textbook, absolutely textbook. Shorts all week. We've barely taken any longs. And what's really nice about this, someone let me know about the Traderify, please. Is Traderify 1-day pass, or what's the minimum days on the growth account? If someone could let me know whilst I'm on stream, that'd be good. But anyway, the short extensions that we're in are as follows, as you can see on my screen. We have come down to the 4-hour low. We are still in the true trend to the downside. I prematurely shorted the halfway back this morning, which the reason for that is I spoke about it with Miller and some other members in the room this morning. I can't remember everyone's name now, but spoke about it this morning. And the reason again for that is we're inside what was, if we zoom out on a larger time frame, we have, that's the midpoint, isn't it? Yeah, the midpoint. I was going to say the midpoint. I hope you guys can see this as clearly as me, but I understand there's a lot going on. But this is so clean. I need to make this so it's really easy to understand. Right? Let me just hide some of these for a second, because I really want this to sink in. So please try and focus just for the next couple of minutes, because this is really important. If you guys want to know how I've been on the right, No, you should see my main screen. Bro. There's no way you see the vertical screen unless you're way back at the start of the video. Refresh. Anyway, this is really, really important stuff to pay attention to. Oh, thank you, Jenny. 1 day pass on Tradeify. So yeah, we can vertical. There's no way. Bro, there's no way. What? Yeah, refresh, guys. There's no way. It can't be. It's impossible. I've not even got... That screen's not even... Yeah, that screen's not even being showed, guys. Like, that can't be... Anyway, really important stuff. Let's just pay attention. So I need you guys to get this because this is literally like golden. So if we zoom out, I'm going to sort of hide the comments for a second because it's distracting. So if we just zoom out for a while, I understand there's probably been like 5 new people that's joined the room that I've probably been watching for a while, but they don't actually know what we do each and every day. So I'm trying to just going to do a bit of a recap of where we are from like a higher time frame yearly point of view, right? We zoom out, and this is going all the way back to, I know you guys have seen this countless times for you members who have been here for a while, but just appreciate not everyone understands this. So zoom out to, you know, a weekly chart. We've got extensions in here. These are just normal traditional extensions that anyone can draw. All they are is plotting a low, waiting for price to move up, plotting a high, waiting for price to move down into what would be classed as discount. Those have gone to completions. When you see these levels here, this is all in the resource channel on the trading room which you can see. These are my extension levels. There's nothing, you know, sexy or amazing about them. They are just mathematical levels, meaning once you break that range, 23%, 62% and -1, which is the full range of basically the 0 and the 1, which is the full low to high, right? What that means is when prices come down, again, this is fairly basic, but if you're new to this, it's advanced. When prices come down to the halfway back, buyers have stepped in and accumulated for several, in this case, several years or a good year, and they've finally brought price up to what would be this blue line here, which is the -23. When I say -23, it just means it's the -23 because it's the inverse. It means it's gone above the high by 23%, right? That happened. I'll take this off so we don't get too confused. Price then rejected instantly, right? So we know that extension is valid, right? It's technical. Inside this whole move here, this is classed as a larger time frame, or this is classed as a larger composite, so to speak, just meaning composite of time. Inside this, there are extensions inside all of this weekly time frame, right? And I can go down to the daily, but I can assure you there was, well, in fact, this trade here, yeah. So this is the halfway back on the weekly time frame. I know it's going to be hard to see initially, but I just want to give you the rundown approach. Once you've got the masterclass, you'll know much more. But anyway, this is the weekly halfway back inside this deeper extension. You can see how this orange 50% lines up with the micro 50%, meaning just the smaller time frame, i.e. it's inside that, you know, area, right? Goes all the way to its completions. That basically just means this low to high here, whatever range this was. So let's say it was 10%, it went 10% above the high. Really basic stuff, but if you don't know it, you don't know it. What did we then do? We went into a new extension, meaning price came down to the 38% retracement, and again went all the way to T1, T2. Once it goes to and through those targets, we can start looking for the next draw. Price comes down, but failed to make a completion. So what do? We draw to the new high. What does price finally do? Come down to discount, i.e. 50%. Again, basic stuff, but if you don't know it, might not be. And we've just completed recently that 23. So what I'm going to do is just put this in double thickness, and I'm going to put it in dash. So we both know that blue line is important. That's why that is the reference point of this box here. This box is going to be really important to show you in a second. We now go down to a daily, okay, to go into a little bit more detail. So this extension was the weekly. Once we come down, or once price comes down into that area, we're looking to see, do buyers step in? Now, if I put my indicators on, you'll see we have colored, we have lots of things going on, but essentially on the weekly time frame, we traded what would be classes in CMP knowledge as an ATR reversal bar. It basically just means this is signaling a reversal, right, in simple terms, which of course that's what it did. We also had a daily reversal bar, so we could have traded off the daily, weekly, or the daily. We had both entries. We also then had 2.5 times, a 2 times ATR candle here, which basically just means it's trading 2 times above the past X amount of bars. Inside all of that range, guess what we have? Let me just move this out of the way, turn the indicators off for a second. What do we have? This is that daily extension. Again, zoom out. That's the 50% retracement inside of the higher time frame 50. Nothing too crazy going on here, but really, really important. Low to high trades what? Trades the 50. Zoom in. What does it not do? It never trades the 61.8. That's when we know a draw is very, very technical, and we're most likely going to blow out to the negative 100, which is what it did. Again, following these extensions up, we know that we can go into draws that we teach in the masterclass, which again, I'm not going to go through it all because we know where we are, but i.e. we've completed and we've been going higher. We've been going higher for a long time, and in short, this is where all of my resistance for now, keyword there, for now, comes into play. I'm a bear 80% of the time. I've been short all of this week, well, all of this week so far and all of last week for valid reasons. Again, look where these draws to the upside, to the high side, line up with. So this was the blue weekly negative 23, which lines up with the low end of this box. This is my resistance box, which will make sense in a second. Think of these lower areas as the supports, the upper areas as the resistance. Okay, so let's just get rid of the daily for a second. So this was the most recent support, which went to its 23, 62, negative 100. In fact, it actually would have been here. Okay, the first touch was actually here. Then it traded the 23, 62, negative 100, which is why, beautiful guys, we're completely lower. Nice. Yeah, nice. Which is the upper zone of my resistance box, right? Okay. Inside here, there was a couple draws, which I'll speak about, which is what happened when we came down to when we had the Trump and China beef. The 50 from the extension from the 1st of April to the high before the beef, traded the 23. So in short, what I'm trying to say is this zone here is what I've marked as potential resistance for now. Again, keyword there for now. I'm a bull most of the time, but there's times where we short. What has happened since that? Again, let's just mark this in red for now, or caution, right? Let's just mark this in orange. So we're all aware what this means. It's just a caution area. Now, where it gets really, really sexy, and this is where I get in my element, is when we have the midpoint of that zone that I've drawn, the negative 100, the negative 23, those two completions, which are two different extensions lining up with us, which creates a zone. That midpoint of that box, which is just a trading view indicator that you can just put a rectangle on there, that midpoint is what lines up with the 61.8 of a traditional draw. Again, nothing technical here. We're just taking a high. Price then comes down and we get what's called a retracement, meaning price comes back up, right? High established, low established, price rebounds, and it trades into the levels, which you can see, the 61.8, which is basically, as you probably know in Fibonacci, the golden ratio, right? It's not just in trading, it's in life in general, but 61.8 of the range, which all I view that is essentially 18%, 11, 12% above the 50, above the mid, right? Which is basically saying just above discount, right? You're paying just above discount. And what happened? Price sold off, which is why, again, I was short all of last week. Coupling that with the daily BX. Now, this is a free indicator on TradingView. I do not sell this. This is a free indicator that I got off a person called Peter DiCarlo on Twitter. A very, very good trader, quant trader, very knowledgeable guy. 520, 525 screenshot if you want to take a video of this or just watch it back on YouTube. The settings, I only have the histogram on, similar to what he has. In short, when we're red, momentum is to the downside, i.e. we're stalling. And when the histogram is green, momentum to the upside, i.e. prices in momentum, building momentum, grinding higher. I've added on some lines on here, which is the 35 with the 37 of both of these upper areas, which basically means when we come down to these areas, we tend to, not always, but tend to find a bit of either support on the lows, which we did on Friday last week, and also Friday last week, the week before Friday, and also on the highs of what would be last month's end of month rally, right? Hit into these resistance completion levels, which also coincided nicely with the resistance on the BX. We then subsequently dropped 1,700 points in 8 days. Actionable signals worth taking, right? Or at least worth knowing. Inside of all that, we go down to a half an hour time frame right now. Okay, into a half an hour time. This is where we start framing our daily trades. I'm not going to go through all of last week's trades, just simply because we've already covered it every single day on YouTube last week. So if you have extra time, just go back through that education. But what I will do is just bring your attention to take the indicators off for a second and just be aware, or at least just cognitively know. I'm just going to get rid of all this so you don't get confused initially. So again, what did we say? This zone is our, again, short-term resistance zone. And you can see once we've traded that, we've pretty much got rejected at, think of these purple lines as the resistance for now, right? We want to ideally see price reject those areas, which we've seen twice. This purple line is actually not a 62. This is actually the midpoint of the resistance, right? So this is the midpoint of my resistance zone, which is double confirmation knowing that price also came up to the 61. The midpoint of my resistance zone, which are Fibonacci completions from long levels. So traders who took longs are now taking their profit off at highs, which often means price comes back down for another discount trade at some point in time. Knowing we've had these rejections, we can then look for what I class as kind of lower time frame extensions. And of course, it's the same thing. You often hear everything is fractal, meaning what happens on a lower to higher time frame can also happen on a lower time frame. It just means it might be more noise. But exactly what happened with this 61.8, i.e. we had a high put in here and we had a low. We came up to the purple line, which is a 61.8. Exactly the same thing inside that extension. A high, a low, 61.8 sold into. Okay. Same Ankanu low. And exactly what happened this morning, we come up to the 61. This is why I was short, because you'll notice someone say it before me. I want Miller or Sam or someone to say, what did this draw not do? And why is this such a good short? And why have I been short on all of the overnight? You guys, I know you know this. I know you know this. But I want you to say it anyway. Ideally in the YouTube chat. What did this extension not do? Or sorry, what did price not do in this extension? It didn't even wick. Yeah, it didn't even touch or close above the 61.8, which is telling me we're getting more aggressive to the downside. So you'll notice, this is like a masterclass 101 here, but you'll notice how in this higher time frame, meaning just more time on the chart, a larger duration of time, we did get above the 61 and we had a bit of chop, but we finally got sold off. You know, we finally sold off quite aggressively. And I don't even have the indicators on here. This is just me reading price action. But what did we do at that 61 a couple of weeks ago or last week? 3 times ATR down. 3 times ATR down, which you'll learn in the masterclass or you'll learn on these streams. But essentially, that's just telling you there's aggressiveness coming into the market. Now, this morning, from Friday, we had a huge we took out the prior week's low from November the 7th. We also hit the ATR low, the ETH ATR low, which is the average low we were expecting on the day. We played that really, really well on Friday. We actually took pretty much the exact low, but we only took it for 60 points. This was an anomaly day in terms of how far we went. And therefore I wasn't too mad that I missed some of the move. However, what this did this morning is pretty much take out the highs from what would be Friday, and then pretty much went nowhere. And when you take out the highs and within half an hour or so don't go anywhere, that continuation is often faded. And that's what I've been fading this whole morning. Now, we go from a half an hour to a 5 minute and we're following the same principles. We know this 61.8 did not get traded. And therefore, what do? You guys get this now. We draw what would be a halfway back to the... Huh?
I need the call.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes. Yeah. Just literally 2 minutes. We trade a halfway back to the downside. Again, micro time frame, smaller time frame, high, too low price, 2 minutes, 2 candles next, trades the halfway back, never breaks the 61.8, goes all the way to completions, full, same Ankanu low, trades at 38, goes all the way to completions. Give me 2 minutes. We'll start on Zoom anyway. We'll start on Whoop now. My partner's leaving to go to the doctors to take Austin to get a checkup. So I'm going to go get the dog seat out of the car or whatever she wants, the car seat, whatever. I'll be back. So I'm going to end this now on YouTube, guys. You've had enough information there. We'll go on Whoop. Everyone who's not on Whoop, click the link in the description, sign up into the room. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Trust me. And I will see you over there, guys.